Hello, friends. Welcome back to the show. Today's guest is a living legend, a self-made billionaire who went from sleeping in his car to building two of the most iconic brands in the world, Paul Mitchell and Patrón Tequila. But beyond the business empire is a man driven by purpose, grit, and giving back. Paul DeJoria is proof that kindness, resilience, and hustle can change not just your life, but the world around you. From homelessness to healthcare, tequila to philanthropy, this is one of the greatest entrepreneurs of our time, who continues to build businesses today, most recently, Bandero Tequila. This is Paul DeJoria. And before we get started, if the show has given you any value, please take the time to like and subscribe. My goal is to have conversations with the highest performers across entertainment, business, fitness, and art to inspire and help you get better today. Pressing that like and subscribe button will help me do just that. And with that said, here is Paul DeJoria. All right, welcome, sir. Welcome to the podcast.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
What drives you in terms of you've done all these cool things in your life and you've built all these businesses and all of them have grown and you sold them for a ton of money and built this cool life for yourself. Right now, you're so excited. You're so positive all the time. What continues to drive you?
Well, I love what I do and how I do it with, so I'll never retire.
Okay.
Because if you love what you do, who you do it with, and who you do it for, you're not really working. You're just having a good time in life. And that's what I do. So the energy is there. And if I could build companies up, and I don't sell them all. Patrón obviously was sold for a nice amount. But Paul Mitchell will never, in my life, I don't think ever be sold. So certain things I'm just holding on to is just, I want to.
So why do you think people always talk about when I retire, or they're so excited about retirement? And I see this trend in a lot of very, successful people in terms of business.
Right.
They talk about that they never want to retire.
There's no need. Yeah, people talk about retirement because I think that when you grow up in life, you'll work till you're 65 years old, right? Then you're going to retire. But a lot of people that retire after 65 years old get really bored. There's nothing to do, and they die a lot sooner. But today, people realize we're not going to live to be 70 or 80 years old. We're going to live to be much longer. Yeah. I'm going to live to be a minimum of 125 years old, and I know it. But I like what I do. And if I did not do this, I would be bored. In other words, these are things I like. It gives me great joy. And most of what I do helps the entire world out one way or another. So I get excited about it.
Your definition of success is health and happiness.
Yeah.
And I guess, what are the characteristics of that?
Well, the characteristics of having good health and happiness, and let me say why. If you're not happy, you're not going to be as healthy as you should be.
Okay.
So I feel the priorities in life are happiness first, health second, and everything else comes third.
For all the people struggling to, be happy.
Yeah.
Is there a step-by-step process for that?
Well, there's one thing you got to remember, okay? Or two things, actually. One is this. In the end, everything will be okay. And if it's not okay, it's not the end. So while you're struggling, you're not at the end yet, okay? That's one thing. The second thing is fear is what you don't know. Fear is the unknown. So to be happy in life, the first thing you've got to do is take off your shoulders all the hate, regret, and jealousies you've ever had in your life. So if you ever think about, so-and-so screwed me over, or if ever I did this differently in the past, things wouldn't be the way they are right now. You cannot change yesterday's newspaper. There's just no way you're going to change it, right? So when that comes up in your mind, say, hey, wait a minute. That's the old me. It's not going to affect me today. Go away. Because it doesn't affect you. But yet people think about, if only I did this differently, my life would be great. And they dwell on that. Not a damn thing you could do about it. And that disaster you're bringing forward with you opposed to leaving it behind you. Get rid of it. If you were ever hating somebody, forgive them to yourself. In your mind, I forgive you for being a total jerk. You're not as cool as you should be, but that's my past. If you did things that you regretted, all of us do things we regret, there's nothing you could do about it, and it probably made you who you are today. So when you're down and out, just look up. There's going to be a brighter future. It's not going to get any worse unless you let it get worse by dwelling on it.
So let's take back to how you started. I live in Studio City, where you grew up in. And not necessarily grew up in, but that's where you did Paul Mitchell from. And you were a hair consultant for a while before you started Paul Mitchell.
Product consultant.
Product consultant. And I guess what inspired you to make that switch from a job to becoming an entrepreneur, to becoming starting something from nothing?
Oh, quite easy. Number one, I worked for other major companies in an executive position in the professional beauty industry. And whenever you do things the way you'd want them, even though they were right, but everyone disagreed with you in upper management because they made more money, you couldn't go anywhere. So, and I consulted for a while. And if you needed me and could pay me on time, I told you everything you needed to know within 3 months. But if you couldn't pay me on time, because I'd almost run your business for you, that was a dead-end street. So I decided, I'm going to do my own. I know enough about the business and distribution. And my good friend, Paul Mitchell, is a top hairdresser. We could create together a company where he owns 30%, I own 30%. Whoever put up at least $500,000, this is 1980, a lot of money, much more than today, would own the other 40%. Our backer pulled out. I stopped everything I was doing to do this. I went down the hill, no money. And I was getting out of my situation I was living in. And I had money coming in, but it never came in. So I slept in my car. But I knew what we had was, it was an old one. An old Rolls, real old.
What was that experience like?
Well, sleeping in the rain, it wasn't good because the windows leaked. But you learn how to put your head where the steering wheel is because you flip your body over when you sleep and there's more room on the passenger side. Yes, I did because I wasn't working. It was my own baby. It was something I wanted to do. And the quality was so good. I tell people all the time, 2 great secrets to success. Number one, be prepared in your life, your personal life or your business life, for a lot of rejection. You're going to get it no matter what you do.
Yes, sir.
But if you know it's coming and it happens, you go, oh, well, that's not a failure. It's a rejection. I know I'm going to get them in my life. A great example and where I learned this was selling encyclopedias in the 60s, door to door, no appointments, no leads, just pounding on doors, selling Collier's Encyclopedia. They said, you may knock on 50 doors that are either politely or not politely close in your face, but you got to go to the next door, even door number 50, with as much enthusiasm as you did on door number 1. Okay, for me, it was over door 100 something, right?
Yes,
so you got to have that attitude. That's how you overcome rejection. The second thing is make sure that your service, your personal service to yourself or your family or a product you have is so good everyone wants to reorder. That's how we launched Paul Mitchell. The product was so good hairdressers want to reorder. And when I launched Bandero, which is totally different than my Patrón that I launched.
How so? What's the difference between it?
Well, okay, it's totally different formulation.
Do you mind if I look at it?
No, go right ahead. That's Bandero. It won, by the way, in 2024 last year. It won the gold medal for in Guadalajara, the big contest for Latin America, for being one of the smoothest tequilas ever.
It smells good. It smells delicious.
It is probably the smoothest tequila you will ever taste, my opinion. It is no additives added whatsoever, and it's like pure no additives.
Why would you start another tequila company?
Why not? I actually started the formulation before I sold Patrón, but never finished it, so they let me keep it as long as I didn't compete for 5 years.
What do you like about tequila?
Well, I think because it doesn't up your insulin like other alcohols do. And something like this, you taste the warmth at the back of your throat, not the burn. And it's a nice buzz. It's a nice, relaxing buzz. And it comes out of agave, which is a medicinal plant.
Do you have a favorite cocktail?
Yeah.
What is it?
My favorite one is that we take, let's say, 1 shot of the Bandero Tequila and 1 shot of the Bandero coffee. We have a coffee one too. And you mix them both together, 1 shot each, and put 1 shot of espresso in there. That's called, I think, an espresso martini. Oh, okay. You put just 1 shot of espresso. That's all you got to put in.
That's it.
Is that probably because the sweetness is already in the agave that we put in there. So it's agave and the tequila. That's it. It is so smooth and so good.
Right now, I'm in the health and fitness space. And
that's perfect for you guys.
There's a lot of people talking about the negative aspects of alcohol, but I also enjoy. There's just something about a glass, and you have to share it over with a group of friends.
It is nice,
and that little buzz, you know.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, it's even packaged organically. Yes, this is recycled glass, and see the leather around here. It's 2-sided like leather is. Looks like leather, but feels like leather, it smells like leather, but it's not leather. It's a synthetic leather we made.
Oh,
it's good for the
looks exactly like it. Leather.
Yeah, isn't it? So it feels like it and everything else.
I had a bartending mentor went to your Patrón headquarters in Mexico.
Yep, that's where our headquarters were in El Taltanito.
Yes, sir.
We had a big, that's where we manufactured, had a major facility and a nice hotel down there.
Yeah, and she couldn't say not one bad thing. She was like, what you guys are doing for the community and for all the people of that.
That's what we do.
Is amazing. And I guess same thing with Paul Mitchell. I met one of your second hairstylists about 20 years ago, he started over there, and he couldn't say one bad thing. And this trend of having employees or people that work for your companies only say good things is very admirable. And I guess, how does someone build that culture in their company?
You take care of people the way you want to be taken care of. I've worked on companies before where my upper management above me would say, I'd say, well, why are we doing it this way? Here's another way. They go, no, we're going to do it this way because I said so. Well, that's not right, because they may know more than I do. So I looked at doing what would be good for me if I worked for me or worked for anybody, right? Well, so the first thing you do is you respect people. You respect them in every way, shape, or form you can, so they have dignity. Also, I remember there were times where I had $1 for lunch, and you can't buy a lot for $1. So when we could afford it, which was a few years into business, because we had no money to start with, as soon as we could afford it, everyone that worked for us in the home office or in the warehouse got free lunch. We'd have it catered in. So everyone had a good lunch. It wasn't the $1 that I have, what am I going to do with it? So we treat people, and then we have like profit sharing programs going on, 401ks and great health insurance programs, but we take care of people because they're our business. And our turnover, and we're in about 130 some odd countries, our turnover is very, very low compared to anyone, I think, in the beauty industry, period.
You had a budget of $2.55 per day.
Yep.
Why?
That's all the money I had. I had no more money. So I learned where to eat for 99 cents at a truck stop after 9 o'clock in the morning, and then at happy hour for 99 cents and a quarter tip. A place called El Torito in California had something called happy hour they started. If you're there from 4:30 to 6, you get a 99-cent margarita. It wasn't Patrón, okay? Patrón wasn't even invented then. It was okay, though. And then they had all these little salsas and little taquitos and little chicken wings. After 20 of those, you're full. That was dinner. Yeah. So that's how I made it. That's all the money I had when I started the company.
I feel like there's a lot of people who spend it more than they can.
Yes, definitely.
Before they get to where they want to be.
Definitely.
And I guess, what was the importance of living below your means for so long?
Well, I learned that it worked. And then I learned also that the second time, actually it was the third year when we started making more money on the third year in business. We paid our bills. Sometimes we made a little more. I never changed my standard of living for 1 year. So my suggestion to everybody is, if you have a business going, don't jump the gun, okay? Don't change anything for 1 year. Stay the same way and save some money up, and then raise your standard of living up. And I learned that back in the 1970s by a few of the grudge bands. There was one group that we knew that was really, really a cool group, right? And they had a one-hit wonder, and that was it. And they went out and spent the money like it'll never end. Only one guy, I believe he was the drummer, okay, took the $70-some-odd thousand he made in those days, which was like a few $100,000 today, right? Yes, and bought a house in Topanga Canyon. Just bought a house with the rest, bought cars and everything else.
The area is alive and well now.
And it never, ever went anywhere. So they all went poor, but he had a house that he owned.
Yeah.
You know, so just you grow. And I tell all my friends, if you start making a lot of money, pretend that's all you're going to make that year, never anymore. And spend it as you would if that's all you were going to make. Not all of it thinking you're going to continue and continue. Until you do continue, then you spend a little more.
Yes, sir. I had a golf coach growing up, and he told me that his favorite pride is that kind of pride that compels a man to do his best when no one is watching.
Yeah.
And you talk about that a lot, of the hard work that you've put in when no one is watching. And what are some of those instances?
That's character.
That's character.
I'll give you an example of that.
Yes, sir.
I've worked since I was 11 years old, paper routes in the morning, or after school, I would have some kind of a job. So in high school, I was 16 years old at the time, and I worked for Stewart's Cleaners. I cleaned all the floors every day during the week. I put the little hangers on the hanger drapes on. I would put the little sleeves for the pants. Anyways, one day Stewart came to me and said, "Johnny, I got to talk to you." I go, "Oh shit, what happened to me now?" Right?
Yeah.
So I said, "I worked late last night." He had this mezzanine. I went up to the mezzanine to lay down for a few minutes. I took my watch off, put it on the table, fell on the floor. So I reached down to get it. And the cot, those are the old time cots, metal cots, a little mattress on top. Okay. So I looked underneath and there was no dust. So I easily moved the cot. There was no dust behind it. I looked behind the cabinets. There was no dust. You cleaned this place as a janitor as if I was watching you every minute. I've never seen anybody work like that. He says, "I'm going to give you a quarter raise." Now, I made $1.25. I got a raise to $1.50 an hour. And where I went to high school, I was probably the highest paid kid in high school, okay?
Yeah.
And it's because I did what I did because it was my job when nobody else was looking. And that's character in somebody. What do you do when no one else is looking?
In terms of being alone working on these companies, what are some of the instances or work that you've done that no one saw in, I guess, Paul Mitchell or Patrón? Or
too numerous to mention, like sleeping in your car, finding places to eat, packs in the boxes yourself. It's just too numerous to mention.
Before we conclude and stuff, I want to talk about friendship. You're friends with Clint Eastwood, and he has this saying, that not letting the old man in, right? And I guess, like, what characteristics of good friends that you've had in relationships throughout the years that you know is a good friend that you could depend on?
I would say there's a minimum of super good friends that'll do anything almost for you. 5 to 10. Never sat back and thought about it, but all you're asking, at least 5 to 10.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish I could say thousands. I have thousands of probably friends and acquaintances, right? But probably somewhere between 5 to 10 that at any time in any situation, they'd be right there for you. Or if you handed them, let's say, $1 million in cash, you would come back and the same amount of money would be there.
Sure. And how do you develop these friendships throughout the years and maintain them?
Along the way, you just find people and you treat them the same way you would treat yourself. And some of them work out and some don't.
Beautiful. All right. Well, I thank you for your time.
Sir, it's my pleasure.
Appreciate it.
You betcha. My pleasure. Thank you.
If you made it this far, thank you so much for tuning back into the Nate Biltz Podcast. If you received any value out of this episode, please take the time to like and subscribe. My goal is to have conversations with the highest performers across entertainment, business, fitness, and art to inspire you to get better today. Pressing that like and subscribe button will help me do just that. Thank you so much for tuning in, y'all. I appreciate you more than you know. This episode with John Paul was short, sweet, and such an opportunity. And hopefully we have a lot more in the near future.